Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of the 476ers podcast. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the Sixers and Sixers stuff going forward.
Yeah. Justice for the blind, just something that'll find in the rhymes that are coming from my mind.
Good morning, everybody, or whenever you listen to the drill. I just say good morning. I say good morning at night. I say good morning day. Good lunch. Good brunch. Whatever. Good morning. I'm doing this right after I've recorded my first episode of Are You Lost? So hopefully both of these episodes will be up probably around the same time. And if you're coming from the Are You Lost podcast, just know you're here. Whether you know about the Sixers or not doesn't matter. I'm going to give you a crash course education, and I'm also going to make you fucking laugh. It's kind of what I do. This podcast is less about mental health, and this podcast is more, well, except when I talk about Ben Simmons, but this podcast is less about mental health, more about just me talking about shit I love, aka basketball, and being funny while doing it, which is the other thing I love, which is making people laugh, and also making people think, and also talking. But talking is probably the first thing. It's probably the thing I love to do the most. Anyway, tonight we play the Warriors. By the time you hear this, we will have probably gotten blown out by the Warriors. They're going to beat the shit out of us. Listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. They're incredible. They're incredible. 15-2. This is the best start that they've had probably since the 73-9 season. It's probably one of the best starts any team has ever had. I'm sure historically, I think their plus-minus differential in the season is something absurd. They're just incredible. Steph is probably the MVP right now. It's probably not even probably. He's on pace to, I think, hit 100 to make 453s or something like that, which by far would be the highest three-point total. It would be higher than most teams probably in the 90s. But he's shooting them at 40%. It's wild. He's just wilding out there. Draymond is dialed back the hands of time as a defender. If you watched the Nets game 2 weeks ago, you saw Draymond put on a clinic of defensive clinic on Kevin Durant's ass, on the rattle upon his snake tail. I'm sorry, I don't even know Kevin Durant. I don't even know if he's a snake. He's going to hear this and he's going to insult me, and I deserve it. I probably deserve it, honestly. What am I going to say to Kevin Durant? Luckily, again, I've worked on my own inner peace, so anything he says to me is just going to bounce off. But, yeah, in the grand public, to the public, I have lost that, but he's going to say you broke. You probably broke. And you're going to say you live in your mama's basement. Well, Joe, son, you bitch. I don't. Anyway, I am broke, though. He got me there. Shout out to Kevin Durant. He's incredible. But, he's a little bit of a mistake. Whatever, who cares? I don't know. In terms of the basketball world, he's done Game of Thronesian things in basketball terms. In the real world, I have no idea. Actually, in the real world, he's done incredible for himself. It's all types of investments. This is not about Kevin Durant. I don't know why, but this is about fucking Steph Curry, who is better than Kevin Durant. Hot take. I don't care. If you ask me to rank my players, you know where I'm going to rank Kevin Durant? It doesn't even matter where I rank Steph. Just know Kevin is one spot behind him. They're both incredible. So we're gonna lose to the Warriors today. Listen, great win against the Kings. Well, it's not really a great win. It's a win. The Kings are awful. But not for nothing. I had recorded a podcast before that game, but I've been struggling trying to get this situated. And I recorded a podcast. I didn't put it up, but I kind of talked about if Tobi plays, we'll probably lose. If Tobi wins, we're gonna. If Tobi doesn't play, we'll probably win. Yeah, well, no surprise, we did win. Now listen, if Tobi played, we probably would have won, maybe. But because the Kings are just awful. The Kings they're awful. The owner, Vivek Randev, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I'm sorry for that, but he's awful at his job. Just an awful owner. Just cycling through GMs that don't know what they're doing, cycling through coaches that don't know what they're doing. They've had some good coaches, but essentially it doesn't matter. They've made every wrong decision. You have Marvin Bagley sitting on your bench, just sitting there kind of, and then you have Luka is an MVP candidate. You have Trae Young, who vacillates between MVP candidate. Sometimes, at times, but definitely all-star. And then you have DeAndre Ayton, who was, kind of tore through the playoffs last year, was, arguably the best center arguably the best center in the playoffs. There was an argument for him. Only because, his team made it to the finals, and it was with him. It was because, in large part because of him. He played a huge role getting there. So you have all these players, and then you have Marvin Bagley, who's best known for his father tweeting about how shitty the Kings are, and it's awful. It's a shame. It's bad. So we should win that game. We've lost a bunch of games. I think all of the other losses, all the losses are pretty defensible. We beat the Nuggets. That was a great win. We beat we lost to the Trailblazers. Yeah, it makes sense. Dame is rounding into form. I think I read a stat earlier on his last 75 three-pointers. He's hit 40% of them, which is, skyrocketing up in comparison to where he was 2 weeks ago when we first saw them. He was rough. It was pretty bad for him for the first few weeks of the season, and now he's rounding into form. So it makes sense that we're going to lose to that team. The Jazz beat the shit out of us. Again, no surprise there. They're one of the better teams. Maybe we should have been able to beat the Pacers. If Tobi was as good as he was, we probably should have beaten the Pacers. If Tobi was as good as he believed he was, and if he was as good as some people believe he is, then we should have won that game. We didn't. The Pacers are not really that good. Even though they did blow out the Bulls. I would say that. They did blow out the Bulls the other day. But it's not, it's not really surprising. I don't know. I don't think there's anything to glean from that other than, sometimes you can have teams that have up and downs. On top of that, the Pacers, I think a lot of people thought the Pacers would be better than they had been in the first few weeks. I don't know that they're going to be good enough to be blowing out the Bulls on a regular basis. The Bulls have been almost as good as the Warriors in some respects. But, they have some talent on their team, whatever. You know what I mean? We should have still beat them, I think, in my opinion, the way we've been playing. But because Tobi's back, I keep saying this. I'm going to keep saying this. I'm blue in the face. Until I'm blue in the face. Until I'm a fucking ice giant. Until I'm in fucking Thor 2, The Dark World. Blue-faced. I'm gonna be like Blueface. What's that? Is that his name, Blueface, or her name, Blueface? I don't know any of the new artists. I'm like, in my mind, I'm mixing like a Blueface person with a Moneybag Yo. Is that his name? Or Yo Gotti? I don't even know. All these people, like all of their names, kind of for some reason to me are registering as all the same name. I don't even know. I'm sorry. I can't keep up. You need a name like A Boogie with the Hoodie. You're never going to confuse that name with anybody else. In fact, I'm like one of these old people. I'm old now, right? I'm old. I'm an old person. And as soon as I hear somebody talking about, like, she left me and something like that, I'm always, is that A Boogie with the Hoodie? I don't have no idea, no basis of knowledge to assume it is. This is the only person I know. And if there's young people in the audience, I'm going to say that so I can sound down. But I don't really know. The only voice that's identifiable to me is this dude who passed away, who was killed last year. What's his name? Pop Smoke, right? That dude. With the woo. It's the only thing. In him, I don't even know any of the lyrics. I just know he's always with the woo. Which is a gang in New York. I know that. I think they're like Bloods in New York or something like that. And he's always with the woo. That's the only thing I ever know he says. That and what she moves, swings. I like that song. Other than that, I don't really know what he's saying. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. I just don't really know sometimes. I just know he's always with the woo. That's the one thing I can identify of him. If I hear there could be a car driving by 100 miles per hour, and if I hear with the woo, right, it's like with the woo. Oh, he's listening to Pop Smoke. Anyway, I don't remember the point of this was. Blueface, blue in the face. See, this song, blue in the face. The biggest problem with Tobi is he's a ball stopper. The poorest man's Carmelo. A poor man's Carmelo. A Carmelo who lives in a tent city. Unfortunately, he lives in Skid Row. Is the Skid Row Carmelo Anthony is what we have in Tobias Harris, and he wears awful pants. Sometimes I just don't know what pants he's wearing. I don't know who put those pants on him. He did it last year before the finals. Before Game 7, when I knew. And then a couple weeks ago, again, here he comes out. I mentioned on my last podcast, right? I mentioned it with the patterns and they're just stitched together. It's just awful. Like, what are these pants, man? Who's dressing you? Who's addressing you about it? You not only do you need someone. You know what? It's like, he's a handsome guy. Tobi's a handsome guy. I'm not going to hate him. He's a handsome guy. His haircut bothers me. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. Sorry. Focus on basketball here. Tobi, I really, really wish you would stop posting people up. I just don't know how else to say that. It makes sense for you to post up smaller plays. It's funny. I really realized something watching the Trailblazers game. In the second quarter, tries to post up Dame, a seeming mismatch, And it made me start thinking because, he posts up Dame, it doesn't go. He tries a drop step, and he brings the ball down. He has the ball down. Any post player knows, good or bad. I know better. I fuck it up all the time, but I know why I fucked it up. He posted ball high, small player, ball high, turn, and they can't reach the ball. You don't bring it down to their level. They're gonna. And sometimes I think it made me think about the clip of MJ. Not the Tobi did not make me think of the clip of MJ. Don't get me mistaken. Nothing that Tobi does makes me think of the clip of MJ, of any clip of MJ. Of where MJ is talking to the ref, and the ref is, oh, Michael, I didn't see a foul there. But if you told me there was a foul, I'll call it. Right? And it's like, what? What kind of collusion is this? Is the ref colluding with Michael Jordan? And it made me think that, I think sometimes refs at times can maybe see like a type of, some sort of camaraderie, some sort of something in certain players, like a type of love where it's like, this guy reminds me of me in my prime, I wish, or maybe there's some grandeur, for sure, delusions of grandeur there to think that any good player could remind a ref of him in his prime, but just, maybe he loves their game. He's like, I love this guy's game. Foul. I love his game. He should have made that. You must have fouled. I don't care. He's so good, you must have fouled him. There's no way he would have missed that shot unless you fouled him. I don't know. I didn't see it. I think sometimes refs do that, and I think that on the other hand of that, conversely, that refs also, when they see a trash player, that they don't call fouls for them. Because it's like, no, swallow the whistle, trash. I know it was a flagrant, but you're just trash. How dare you? Why did you bring the ball to him? Why do you have the ball down there? You know he's going to hit it. You know he's going to slap it away. Get the ball high. I'm not going to give you a foul call because you fucked up an obvious move. And then in the third quarter, switch. Larry Nance, post up, mismatch, mouse in the house. Larry Nance, 6'10", or something, 6'9", he's taller than Tobi. Mouse in the house, also a very good defender. Mouse in the house. And mind you, not only is he wanting the pass, he's calling for an entry pass from the worst person to throw an entry pass, which not Danny Green, he is actually the worst person to throw it. Danny cannot even enter. He's like a vampire. He can't even enter places correctly unless someone invites him in. And by invites him, I mean grabs. He's like a blind man. He can't fully put out his arms to open the door. He's not throwing in entry passes. No, it's the second worst entry pass thrower, and that's Steph. That's Seth Curry. Seth, give me an entry pass. Of course, it's a turnover. Yeah. You ask Seth to throw an entry pass. Seth can shoot. It's all he can do. Seth can shoot. I'm sure that he's throwing the entry passes, he's just shooting them. I know he's not, but or maybe if he would shoot him, maybe it'd be better. Maybe the entry pass, jumper into the pocket. Like just visualize the rim in Tobi's hands and just shoot it, and maybe it drops. Maybe that's a good idea. I don't know, because otherwise, and every time our broadcast, shout out to Kate, love Kate. But every time they're like, Seth, underrated playmaker. Excuse me? I'm sorry? Underrated maker of plays? Huh. Oh, no. No, he's an underrated maker of anger. Because it's underrated how much he makes me angry. Hell of a scorer, scoring a lot, though. Listen, again, like I said, the reason we were winning all those games with Joe was ball movement. And you see it. You want to make an argument for why Joe is the MVP? Well, just look at the last 2 weeks since he's been out. We've gone about 2-8 or whatever it is, 2-6 since he's been out. Tobi comes back, it don't change. We're still trash. Yeah, we're still bad. Tobi's back, and you can't even really say anything bad about it. Tobi's been playing exactly how he usually plays, which is 22 points on 20 shots. It's the Tobias Harris effect. 22 on 20 shots. 10 of 20. Maybe a three-pointer is mixed in there, and somehow only one free throw. Some rebounds and assists for sure. A lot of ill-advised post-ups. Yeah, well, because when Joe is playing, everything changes. Just the gravity, the dynamics of the court are completely different. The defense is completely different. Our defense, when Joe is playing, you can't compare it. You can't compare it. I've been saying it for years. Joe is the best defender on this team. You can let Ben be the face of that defense, but it's Joe who allows Ben to be so aggressive. And additionally, shout out to Maxey, man. Like really, Maxey is the story of the season so far. Somehow, Maxey's play within the Philadelphia landscape specifically, because in the national landscape it's still about Ben, but in the Philadelphia landscape, and slowly as we play more games on national TV, this is going to happen, that people are realizing, yo, Maxey is like nice though. He's kind of good. He's kind of good, and it's slowly but surely getting to the point guard, right? Like there's the clip the other day, probably one of my favorite clips of him this year. You know, he kind of he drives in from the other side of the rim, on the right side of the rim. He's driving, he's going baseline. He comes, Isaiah Joe's in the corner, a little flip pass to Isaiah Joe. He shoots it. Maxey is running behind Isaiah as Isaiah shoots it. He looks to see he shot it, slaps him in the ass, and goes. Right? Now listen, Isaiah could have missed it. It doesn't matter. It's that I trust you, good fucking shot, and go. That's a point guard. That's a great play. That's a point guard, right? It's like those are those things. Those are those underrated things that you don't notice that like really do build trust among teammates and build love and like, yo, hey, good shot, boy. Hey, way to be there. Hey, good shot. I trust you. It's all you. Good shot, right? Whether it's a bad shot or not, don't matter. Good shot, right? And that's what you're trying to establish. You ain't never seen Ben do some shit like that. You never seen Ben do some shit like that. All you just see Ben panic, pass it out to someone at the 3-point line who then has to panic shoot it. I don't know. Just 1,000-yard stare out the window. And wondering why I get out of bed alone. Morning raindrops on my window, and I can see them all. Even if I could, it would all be great with your picture on my wall. It reminds me, but it's not so bad. It's not so bad. For all of those who don't know, I've been thinking about doing a podcast about songs that were great and then got ruined because of popularity. And like, this is a great song until, for those who don't know, this was a single by Dido in 1998, something like that. And then Eminem repurposes it and makes it stand, and then it becomes way too big. It then stands out, you know, no pun intended. You go stand, it's not really a pun. Anyway, and it was a great song that got ruined. It's songs like Vanessa Carlton, 1,000 Miles, I don't give a fuck. Christian, you're going to hear this? Don't fucking clown me. Don't make fun of me. It's a great song. And then Cameron comes and says, Cameron doing too much. We know. You know, I see him in the video just doing this with a pink, whatever. A podcast about songs that were great but got too popular and got crushed under their popularity. And Dido is, you know, yeah, that's a great song. Anyway, the point is, I'm good without Ben. We don't need him. Maxey is playing incredible. I want to see Maxey continue. Again, Maxey Pad, right? It's not a nickname that's going to stick because it's kind of like, it's not that it's just uncouth is what it is. It's an uncouth nickname. The Maxey Pad, he stops the bleeding. It's just uncouth. But the point is, I love Maxey. I love what I'm seeing from him. He's improving every single game. His three-point shot, a little bit inconsistent. He is shooting them, and I do think it looks good. I don't think it's a bad-looking shot. I think the only thing I'd probably really maybe advise, and somebody smarter like the homie, they could let me know whether I'm wrong here, but it just, like, when he shoots them, his legs are flaring out. You know, his legs flare apart. And I wonder if maybe that could create an inconsistency in terms of, it's just creating an inconsistency on the release, because your balance can't be great if every time you jump, your legs start flaring out. You're going to be kind of like, you know, your weight is going to be distributed weird. Seems like maybe that could cause inconsistency. Maybe if he could work on that, but generally the form looks absolutely fine. There's literally nothing wrong with it. And just keep going. I mean, he's not scared. He's absolutely not fucking scared to get to the rim. Incredible finisher. I mean, he's good, man. He's good. He's a good player. Continue evolving as a point guard, and we have something there. And then maybe Ben is expendable for a really good wing player. You know, now maybe you don't need a point guard. Listen, I wish we would have gotten DeJounte, who's averaging, by the way, 18, 8, and 8. I think he's shooting 37% from three, something like that. I wish we had him, but we don't, because he's not a game changer. He's not a game changer according to fucking Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey only. Now, man, I'm really starting to question him as a GM. If all you are getting are just the one of the 10 best players in the NBA, then how good of a GM are you? It's mad easy to. I know who the best players are. Yeah, sure. I'm going to target Jokic. I'm going to target Joker. Yeah, if give me a friend, give me the magic. So what's your plan this year? We're gonna target Joker. Yeah, well yeah. It might be difficult to do, but it's an easy strategy. You know what I mean? It's about finding those other guys. Can you tell me you couldn't find a place here for DeJounte? You kidding me? Damn, I love DeJounte, but it's fine. Maxi's playing great. Maybe trading Ben is trading Ben for a good wing player. I don't know what the fuck that looks like. I don't know where that good wing player is. To be clear, I have no clue where that is. But, maybe she's out there somewhere. I don't know. It ain't Jalen. As much as I wish it was, it's not Jalen. Yeah. Maybe the Hawks. It might make sense on the Hawks for, some combination of like a DeAndre Hunter and Kevin Huerter or something. Maybe that would kind of make sense. I don't know. We're just awful. He's just awful. We can't get Cade Cunningham now. That ship is completely sailed. Because, Daryl wanted five things from them. He wanted Cade. He wanted the pick for Cade. He wanted fucking Jeremy Grant. Give me the fucking 92 Pistons, the 91 Pistons, the bad boy. I want the bad boy banner up. I want Isaiah Thomas's number to be retired here instead of there. And then we can talk. And now, Cade is just better than Ben, and we're fucked. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get so dark. Listen to my other podcast to improve your mood. Or book a consultation. Maybe that's the goal. Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to make people really depressed here, and then come get a consultation by the kid. But don't talk to me about basketball because it's just going to make you more depressed. Joe should be back by Saturday. We're playing the Timberwolves on Saturday. Today, watch. It's a watch. I might not even watch the game. I'll be honest with you. For what? But I might watch it just because Steph is incredible. We're gonna get blown out. We're gonna get blown out. It's fine. Play Timberwolves on Saturday. Timberwolves are playing a little bit better.
Yo. Justice for the blind, just something that'll find in the rhyme that are coming from my mind.